Hey guys, what's going on? It's King Clutch here, and today guys, we're back in the NBA 2K20. I hope you guys are having a great day and everything is going well for you. Today what we're doing is I'm going to be showing you guys how you can create Kevin Durant here in NBA 2K20, guys. As you guys know, Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers, or not the best scorer of all time in the NBA. I feel like he is one of the players in the league that is probably the hardest one to guard. Like, you can't really put anybody on him and expect them just to clamp him because he can score in so many different ways. He's listed in the game as, I think, a two-way scoring machine. And I'm just going to say this right now, guys, to get a build exactly like KD, someone that's listed as 6'9", reality when he's like 7 feet tall, we cannot do that. So I'm going to get this as close as I possibly can, but I'm just going to say straight up, we cannot obviously get a build that is 7 feet tall, can shoot from limitless, can still get contacts, and can, you know, still dribble the ball. It's just impossible. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we can get it close as possible to how I feel like you can make it. So we are going to make this build a small forward. You also can make this build a power forward. Doesn't matter what you end up doing. It just changes the build name. You're probably going to keep the stats pretty similar no matter what. The height should be the same. So I'm going to make this build a small forward here. And now when it comes to this skill breakdown, I feel like for a KD build, there's two options. It's either the finishing and shooting or the shooting and the playmaking pie chart. Now, my thing with the shooting and the playmaking pie chart, your finishing stats are kind of low. As you guys can see, your driving dunks only a 67. Here it is a 79. So there's a difference there of 12. And my thing is going with this pie chart, you're going to be making the build a little bit taller anyways. So you're going to take a hit in all your playmaking stats. So in reality, why spend the extra points on your playmaking stats when you're going to get them hit anyways by making this build a little bit taller? So I'm going to go with the main scoring, which is I feel like what KD is more known for, and we're going to go with the finishing and the shooting pie chart. When it comes to this physical profile, you can make an argument for the pure speed pie chart, but I think you guys know what I'm going to go with, and that is the speed and the vertical pie chart. Now the reason being for this is because I just feel like this is the best overall pie chart, and generally I like this pie chart more for wing players and guards anyways, just because it seems to be more beneficial than having that boost of 3 speed, 3 excel. You get a difference of, it looks like 11 vertical, so it's like you might as well just go for that 11 vertical boost and go with the speed and the vertical boost that, you know, so you can jump a little bit higher. So we're gonna go with that. When it comes to these attributes, guys, I'm gonna max out this close shot, my driving layup, my driving dunk, my standing dunk, and then take this post hook up to, it looks like a 53 to give ourselves 16 finishing badges. I'm gonna max out our mid-range, our 3-point, our free throw, and then this post fade, and then you can go ahead and take your free throw down to an 83 if you'd like. Otherwise, you can touch your post fade, it really doesn't matter. But I'm gonna upgrade this pass accuracy, my ball handle, and my post moves all the way to give me 17 playmaking badges. Now, kind of make a decision. I'm gonna spend these on perimeter D and lateral quickness, and then we have 52 points left. So with these, if you want, you can go ahead and spend these on your post hook to give yourself 20 finishing badges. That's a good option to do, and realistically, I would not fault people for doing that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these out by steal a little bit and my block. Now, I don't think there is any way you can even get more defensive badges, whether or not you just take off your steal and throw these on defensive rebound. You're not able to get a defensive badge. So if you want to go more badge purposes, I would almost suggest just spending these on post hook, because in reality, you're not going to be getting those badges for the defensive stats. So what I'm going to do, we can just put those on steal and then throw these on block. But you don't need to do that if you don't want those other badges, and really, you don't even need the steal and the block. Regardless, though, of the point, it doesn't end up making too much of a difference, because you're not getting that extra defensive badge. So if you want, you could just spend those on finishing. But this is going to give us 17 finishing badges, 20 shooting badges, 17 playmaking, and 1 defensive badge. And then when it comes to the body shape, again, this doesn't really matter. I feel like KD would be more compact than anything, just because his arms are very, very lanky. So I'm going to go with that, but this really has no, it doesn't really have much of a deal on your players. So we're going to go with that. Now for the height, guys, I know KD's listed as 6'9", but in reality, he's 7 foot. I'm going to make the build 6'8", because if we make the thing any taller, your stats just go down so bad, and it's not even worth it to make it any taller, because then it's like all the scoring stats go down. You just lose so much. So I'm going to go 6'8" for the height. I feel like that's a good heavy medium. And the way 2K this year kind of nerfs small forwards really bad, making a build small forward is kind of hard. Making builds over really 6'6" in general tend to be really hard. But what I'm going to do is just make this 6'8". We can still get a little bit of height. In reality, you're still pretty much going to be taller than everybody else, because most people have guards and they're like 6'5". KD is listed as 240, but what I'm going to do, since we made the build a little bit shorter, I'm just going to go 220. Get one to our excel, we get 1 to our lateral quickness by going a little bit lower too. For the wingspan, some people argue, you know, you could go max wingspan for a KD build. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just take it down 1 to this 83.9 because this is giving us a 1 boost to our 3-point shot. We go any lower, we hit our steal, but really you could take it a little bit lower if you wanted. Like you could argue, you know, having shorter arms so you could score a little bit better, but I don't want to do that because I feel like KD has pretty long arms for his body size. We're going to go with this 83.9 inch wingspan. With these takeovers, we get 4 choices. We get post scoring, playmaking, slashing, and spot up shooter. Now, you can make an argument for Kevin Durant of every single one of these takeovers. You could make an argument, oh, he's a great post scorer, he's a great playmaker, slasher, spot up shooter, etc. Like, you could make so many decent arguments. Like, you could say, oh, in this game, he posted up the elbow, like a game against, like, I think it was the Clippers. He, like, posted up Pat Bev, scored, like, 5 or 6 times in a row from post scoring. Like, you know, he just sits at the elbow, will do a little fadeaway and make it. Or you could, like, say the game where he had a bunch of assists, or when he, you know, dunked over people, or when he, you know, shot from limitless. You could make an argument for any one of these. In reality, I feel like all of these are good choices for this build, and you can make a very decent argument for all of them. I feel like, though, if you're trying to go 2s, I would go post-scoring takeover. If you want to have fun, I would say one of the other 3. If you want to, you know, just more mess around with the build, I feel like slashing takeover is the most OP takeover this year, so that's a good option. Playmaking take if you want to, you know, break ankles and catch people. If you just want to shoot, I feel like spot up shooter in general would probably be the best takeover for this build, because considering this build will probably be your 2. It'll probably be your 2 on your park team, so you want to be able to space out the floor, and with this build you're a little bit taller, and you know, people it'll be a good takeover to choose, but again, you can make an argument for this. I'm just going to go spot up shooter. And for this build, we are getting a slasher for our name, similar to Paul Pierce, DeMar DeRozan, and TJ Warren. Now, I know it doesn't say KD. I know one way you can get the game to say KD, though, and it is if you make a Pierce shooting, like small forward or power forward, that all they can do is shoot, then it should say Kevin Durant. I don't know the exact statistics on everything else, but I know that is one way you can do it. This build, I feel like we can do a little bit of everything with, and again, if you were to see this build and you see the name of a slasher, you're like, why in the world did this person pick spot up shooter take? But you can actually shoot with this build, so that's kind of misleading. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the badges I would throw on this build. Alright, so for this one defensive badge, I'm just going to put this on Intimidator. I feel like when you only have one, it's kind of, you really can put it wherever you'd like. I would say probably go Intimidator or Clamps or possibly Interceptor. We'll just go Intimidator so we can alter people's shots a little bit. Now, when it comes to these playmaking badges, guys, I am going to put Handles for Days on gold because I want to be able to dribble with this build. Obviously, that's a good choice. You're going to want that. Quick first step on gold again. Same thing for Handles for Days. You're going to want to be able to dribble. Now, I'm going to put Space Creator on gold because KD can create a lot of space. So we're going to throw Space Creator on there so we can, you know, get some separation against our defenders. Now, I'm also going to put Bailout here on bronze just so we're able to better, we can pass out of layup attempts or dunk attempts. If we get a bad animation or anything, we're going to throw those there. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Dream Shake on silver just because of this build. I feel like you may be doing some posting up because if you're running against 2 point guards, the guy's 6'5", you might as well post the guy up. You could definitely shoot some post fades, so we're going to put that there. You could also make an argument for Post Spin Technician. You could throw that on there. I'll just leave it on bronze. That'd be another good one to use. You could also use Downhill if you want to get that extra speed boost, so I'll leave that on bronze. And then Stop and Go Tight Handles, and Unpluckable for some other playmaking badges. And again, these are just some ideas of what badges I feel like you can run with this build to have an efficient build. You don't have to use all of them, but I feel like those are some good badges to use. When it comes to these shooting badges, I'm just going to put Quick Draw on silver because I feel like that's just generally what I like it at. But you can put it up higher if you'd like. Again, this is a more personal opinion. Quick Draw wherever you'd like it, but you're obviously going to want to use it. Now again, with this build, as I said in previous videos, Range Extender I feel like is the most important shooting badge because with this we'll be able to space out the floor. We can pull the people out and they have to guard us from pretty much anywhere, so we'll throw Range Extender there. Now I'm going to put Difficult Shots on silver just in case we want to shoot some runners. KD does shoot a lot of runners, so that's a good badge to use, and you can make a good argument even to put that up higher. I'm going to put Catch and Shoot and Corner just on bronze just to have them. I feel like it's worth putting them on bronze, but again, you don't need to use those. Those are just another good options to use. Now I'm going to put Deadeye on silver so we can, you know, have our opponents can have less of an impact on our shot. Again, that could be used from anywhere, and overall is a good badge to use. Now I want to put Deep Fades here on gold, and obviously if you don't plan on shooting fades, don't use this badge. This is just an idea. When it comes to shooting, if you're not going to want to be shooting a lot of fades, don't put Deep Fades this high, but I'm just going to leave it there. Now again, what you could make an argument for is Hot Zone Hunter, Green Machine would be good choices. Clutch Shooter, obviously, for a KD build, but I'm not going to use that. And you could also make an argument for Volume Shooter. So I'm going to leave Volume Shooter there on gold, but again, you could throw Green Machine, Hot Zone Hunter on here, Pick and Popper, Tireless Shooter. There's so many of these you could make an argument for KD, but I'm just going to use Volume Shooter because I feel like we are going to be shooting a lot with this build, but again, if you're not going to be taking a bunch of jump shots, don't use this. You can throw them on Green Machine or put maybe Deadeye or different shots up a little bit higher. Finishing badges, I'm going to put Contact Finisher on Hall of Fame. Obviously, you're going to want this. You can put it as high as you can so you can, make some contact dunks. Even though we're not getting the contact dunk animations, we still should be able to get some good dunks. Now, I'm going to put Fancy Footwork here on Silver just so we're able to do our hop steps, our Euro steps, all those. So we're going to use those there. Now, again, this is something I've said before. Acrobat is another good badge to have because if you actually read the descriptions on these, Acrobat gives you the layup attempt itself a significant boost, while when it just for Fancy Footwork, it just helps you get past them. So I would say put Acrobat on Bronze just to help out making those. You could throw those on there, but I'm just going to use it there. Now I'm going to put Relentless here on Silver and Slithery on Silver just so we can help finish at the rim, and I'm also going to put Consistent Finisher there on Silver. Now the rest of these, what you can do is there's a plethora of these you could use. I could say you could almost think about using Back Down Punisher if you're going to want to be shooting a lot of fades, so that'd be a good option. Fast Break Finisher if you did pick Slashing Takeover to get your takeover quicker is a good choice. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put Fancy Footwork, Consistent, and Slithery all up to gold, and then Cross Key Score could also be another badge you can make an argument for, but I'm just going to hire up Acrobat up to Silver. But this is what I would do for these finishing badges, guys, and overall I feel like this is a good build, and I know it's not exactly like KD, you cannot do that, I know you're not able to, but I feel like overall this is a good build that you can get pretty similar to KD if you try. And also, guys, if you want to see more NBA 2K20 player builds, please subscribe to the channel, guys. We'll have more of these coming soon, but anyways, it's been King Clutch here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, and peace out, guys. Thanks.